I've always been self-conscious about my thumb-sucking problem, and it is a problem. Most kids either grow out of it or have the habit gently coaxed away by attentive parents or counselors. My upbringing was different though. I never grew out of it. I never saw my parents for more than a couple of hours every week. They would be so busy with work that the only people I would see on a regular basis were the servants and housekeepers. God knows they weren't going to correct the habits of their employer's only son, the one who would inherit the family fortune. Maybe if I had friends or family members around, I would have matured normally. That opportunity is long gone though. I think my habit is a plea for security. Having no real comfort or warmth in my life probably leads me to engage in such an infantile practice. I'm 20, way too old to be doing something as immature as thumb-sucking, but here I am. I never expected anything to change for the better. When my parents died in that car fire, I was the only one left. I was 15 years old, wealthy beyond my comprehension, and aside from the servers, the only one in a home that would be better referred to as a palace. The servants doted on me like they had been taught to. My tutors came and left on schedule. No one dared to tell me to get a social life or interact with the world around me. They left me in peace with my laptop and video games. For all they knew, for all I knew, I would be browsing and playing alone until the day I died. Like I said before, I'm 20 now. Until recently, my life continued the way I'd expected. Then I met Aria. Aria is the daughter of one of the servants. She's younger than me, probably 16 or 17, but she's the first person who ever took interest in me on a personal level, rather than just going through the motions of server-to-master interaction. When her mother, whose name I don't even know, found out, she was very angry with her daughter and apologized to me profusely. I was assured Aria would not bother me again. I said it was okay. I allowed Aria to visit as frequently as she wished. We quickly grew close, and it didn't take long for Aria to bring up my habit. I was mortified. I didn't even realize I had been doing it while she was talking to me. I slid the wrinkled, saliva-drenched thumb out of my mouth and clenched my fist around it in some half-hearted attempt to hide my shame. Aria told me not to be embarrassed. She took my hand in her own and gently unballed my fist. As I watched in disbelief, my heart pounding so powerfully I was worried that she would hear it, Aria took the still wet thumb in her own mouth. You have to realize something. I never even hugged a person aside from my own mother when I was a child. This was a level of intimacy I would never expect to see in person, let alone participate in. I shuddered with nervous excitement. Aria stopped what she was doing and asked if I was okay. I nodded, and I told her that I just needed to get some air. I left her on the couch. I stood on the balcony and gazed at the city below. I realized that this was the first time I had been outside in months. While the fresh air loosened my tension and helped clear my head, I felt Aria come up behind me and wrap her arm around my waist. I jumped a little at the contact.
Shh, it's okay.
She knew I was nervous, but the feeling was dissipating. I felt comfortable with her, comfortable enough to engage in my habit without feeling like a baby. I brought the hand to my mouth. My head spun when I tasted the remnants of her saliva on the wrinkled digit, wanting to swallow what had been inside her mere minutes ago. I then felt the fingernail come off and stuck to the roof of my mouth, but I didn't care. My tongue sought out the virgin flesh underneath. Aria turned me around to face her, and our eyes locked.
Please, let me help you,
she whispered. But before I could oblige, the door opened on the other side of the room. A servant came in, pushing a cart with a tray on it. She kept her head down, apologizing for interrupting me.
I'm sorry, sir. but perhaps you'd prefer a fresh one?
The servant removed the cloak from the tray and revealed 10 severed thumbs, neatly arranged in order of skin color. I dragged the old thumb out of my mouth. I'd used it for over a day, and the skin was beginning to slough from the bone. Aria looked at the tray with excitement.
Can we share these?
I grinned at her, then noticed the bandage on the servant's left hand. She quickly hid it behind her back.
We had trouble finding a 10th one, sir. I'm sorry, truly, if mine is not good enough.
Which one is it? I asked. She pointed to the third one from the end. I picked it up and handed it to Aria. She looked at it for a moment, then slid it into her mouth. Her lips formed a smile around the severed digit. I dismissed the servant, and Aria and I stood on the balcony, quietly sucking our disembodied thumbs. I felt her hand wrap around mine, and then she leaned her head against my shoulder. I beamed with happiness. Finally, a chance to live a normal life. Hey guys, Unit 522 here, and I want to thank you very much for watching my video. I would appreciate it very much if you would share, like, and comment. And if you're new to this channel, become one with the Unity by hitting the subscribe button. If you have a scary story or experience that you want featured on this channel, you can always send it to my email or post it on the Free Horror Stories subreddit. The links for those can be found in the description below. If you would like to help out this channel even more, consider a PayPal donation. And for more updates, be sure to follow me on Twitter. There's nothing wrong with a little darkness in your life, as long as you never forget there's always a reason to be afraid.